Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Dan the Fix-It Man. Got another quick video here for you. I'm going to show you how to make a pressure bleeder to bleed your brakes. This is just a quick DIY with a few parts and pieces that you can find at most hardware stores. As you can see, first I've got this little garden sprayer. It's just a 1 1/4 gallon. I picked it up at Harbor Freight. And then I grabbed a rubber cap. I've already drilled a hole in it here with a 1/2 inch drill bit. It looks smaller than a 1/2 inch because the rubber stretches as you drill it, but that's good enough. Depending on your master cylinder cap, you may need to get a different size. And I've seen other guys do this even with rigid PVC, as long as the threads match up to your master cylinder. And then what I've got is a pressure gauge. I drilled the side of the tank here just with a 1/2 inch drill, and then I've wrapped these threads with this gas line Teflon tape, and we'll thread that in here in a minute. And then I just bought some 1/4 inch clear tubing, and that's just the vinyl tubing. You can buy that at most big box stores to put this all together. Got a couple hose fittings here. This is a barb end, and I've got a washer on there as well, and that's going to go on this rubber cap. And then I also have a female end. I ended up having to buy another barb fitting. I just cut that end off to clamp that down here on the rubber cap with another washer. And then this hose wand itself, you know, this is a pretty good valve, so I'm going to use that. But I'm going to take off this end here, and we'll attach our tubing. So I'm going to get the camera set up, and I'll just kind of take you through this step by step. Okay, so first over to the tank, and again, you can see I've got a hole drilled into the side. You just need to decide where you want that, and after you do drill it, just make sure you clean out any little shavings from drilling that plastic. And depending on what gauge you get, this is goes up to from 0 to 160 psi. To do your brakes, you really only need about 10 to 15 psi. So just make sure you get a gauge that's going to work for you. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more of this gas line Teflon tape on these threads. Just want to make sure that we don't get any leaks when we pressurize this. Even though it's not a lot of pressure, it'll be nice to seal this up. And then you just take that into the end, and as long as it's square and straight, you just thread that in slowly. Should feel nice and snug, which this does. And I'm not going to go all the way in. I'll leave probably 2 threads left, and then I'm going to face that upwards so that I can read that. Okay, now over to the wand here, or the hose. What I'm going to do is just unscrew this little rod that comes on there, ready to go. And I've just cut a length of clear tubing. This is about 2.5 feet long. Long enough so that I can leave this pressure bleeder on the ground while I'm working on this. And then if you can, just force that onto the end. You kind of have to spin as you go. Spin it as you push. And you want that to seat on there as far as possible. That'll work. And then I'm going to put a hose clamp on there. I'll just feed it through from the other end, since I didn't put it on ahead of time. And we're just going to tighten that down with a small flathead screwdriver. Okay, there's the hose attached to the end of that little nozzle, or that valve. Now that takes us over to our rubber cap here. This is nice because it's got a clamp on there, so when we put this on the master cylinder, we can clamp that down. But to attach the hose, what I've done is, like I said, I drilled this out, and then I'm going to push this through with a washer. Just a standard fender washer. And you'll see that coming through there. I'm going to use a deep socket to turn that as I push it, so it'll come out all the way and kind of seat itself on the rubber top there. Okay, so that's what that looks like up on top. And to make sure that this stays in, I've got another washer on the bottom, and this is just a female end brass fitting. Whatever you can find that will hold that in place. You know, it had the barb on it. I just cut it off just to keep it out of the way. And then I'm going to snug these down with a couple of sockets. And these are all 1/4 inch fittings. This is a 1/4 inch male with a barb, and then a female on the opposite side here. And the wrenches I'm using, this is a 17 millimeter on the female one here, and a 15 millimeter on the male on the opposite side. To put the hose on the other side, it's pretty simple. I'm just going to put that through the hose clamp first. You press that all the way on, and then we're going to tighten our clamp. Again, just to keep that hose from blowing off. And that's pretty much it. You're now ready to fill this full of brake fluid, and we'll just put that onto the master cylinder, clamp it down. We'll pump this up to about 10 or 15 psi, and you can verify that with your gauge. Just the important thing, once you're done, you'll notice this has a little pressure relief. You can pull that up and let the air out before you go to take that cap off of the master cylinder. So just a pretty quick, easy job. I just thought I would make a quick tutorial for you. And thanks so much for watching, and good luck.